difficult for me to recreate again second time? The answer is, of course not.
Can I just ask a
That's
question?
the argument Quran uses.
What do you mean by resurrection?
That once we die, that's the end of it. There will be another recreation of life.
So you were saying that the functionality is to demonstrate to us that resurrection is possible, that he can do that. I never had an issue with that in the first place, because I don't think that anybody assumes that the body is being recreated in heaven, or do you assume that? Then it's a matter of spirit. So if that's the point that he's trying to make,
you need to understand. You need to understand. The Quran is addressing primarily this argument, and then of course this addressing the universal for all time. Primarily addressing those people who said, وَإِذَا مِتُّ, when we are dead, are we going to be raised up again? Are we going to be raised again? When we die and we are rotten bones, the Quran then answers them directly with what? With evidence. This evidence within themselves. Look, when you see the dead land, no rain, nothing grows. But when rain comes, what happens? Life sprouts forth. God will recreate life like this. He gives you so many descriptions how God, He creates you once, He can recreate you again. That's not a problem. Is it difficult for creating human beings or recreating them? Or is it difficult to create the heavens, all the nebulas, galaxies? Which one's comparatively more difficult? Human beings or everything else in the cosmos? So the Quran uses multi-layered approach of argumentation against these people who don't want to consider the possibility or the reality of resurrection. Embryology being one of them to argue against it.
I understand there's only one of them, and you're making the point there's others, but I think it does a terrible job at doing that, in my opinion. First of all, even from an atheist perspective, I can understand the concept without needing to see embryology.
All of you believe in resurrection?
No, I mean, I can understand the concept. I don't believe in it, but I can understand the concept. I can understand that in all of, no, not all of religion, most religion, there's this notion that the duality between the mind and the body, right? The spirit and the mind, the soul and the body.
Bodily resurrection?
What talks about bodily resurrection? So because we went over this. You said it isn't about body resurrection.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
said in heaven the body doesn't go there. So
I never said
why does it speak?
You're assuming from the discussion elsewhere. Quran addresses people about bodily resurrection. Bodily resurrection.
Yeah, and I said, you mean in heaven, and you said yes.
No, what you were saying, what I'm saying, this question that you asked, is what is the reason and the purpose of using embryological description is to demonstrate that physical resurrection of your body, of course, is going to happen, so using different argumentation.
So when is that resurrection going to happen?
When this world is destroyed once, and it will be recreated again, and then human beings
under our human flesh.
There will be another reality, another creation, a new creation.
Same bodies.
New creation.
Same bodies. So
not also same body, there will be different types.
Even to the fingertips.
So the Quran, for example, uses so many arguments of resurrection. One of them is they say that we will be, this is in Surah Al-Mulk, and it says even to the tips of your fingers, He's able to bring you back together.
The body, we're going to be the same by different dimensions.
Say that. He doesn't need to speak about embryology. It seems to completely.
You're outsmarting everyone else. You could be the only person who understand that. Are you saying this understanding of bodily resurrection is understood by everyone at large?
I'm not aware that people struggle to understand that concept.
It's a historical reality. Yes, people struggle. People don't want to believe that there's another resurrection, a physical resurrection. So Arabs at that time were a group of people that staunchly disbelieved in this idea. So that needed to be totally obliterated from their minds and their intellect, saying, no, you will be resurrected. And these are the ways God is arguing with you to bring you back to life again. So it was necessary for them, because if you cannot transform them, then Islam wouldn't have come to you right now, to us.
I won't just say one thing. There is a hadith, on Mansour that the human being is going to be resurrected from the focus, because there is, now they discovered that everything in your body is going to go away, disintegrate, except a tiny piece of DNA at focus. And they tried to destroy it. You know, some Germans, they did an experiment. They tried by all means to destroy it. They couldn't. It's like the fruit seed. From that seed, it kills your DNA. You're going to be the same from that DNA.
That's not the discussion we're having right
The
discussion is,
I can't
gentleman here,
read
what's your name? What's your name? Matt from Mansour.
We met a long time ago.
Matt is saying that he can understand this concept of resurrection. And what's the reason?
Intellectually, I mean.
What's the reason? Yeah, what's the reason of it there in the book? And my point is, there are people, a bunch of people who need to transform their ideas about this stuff and try to transform their minds on this issue.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What did Einstein say about the creation? Did he not say that when you look, he's more intellectual than you are?
He's an atheist. You don't
There is a saying of what he said. All this was creation cannot be without God. That's the saying compared to yours.
You're completely misquoting Einstein.
It's not about what scientists say.
There's
It's
no
what
idea, it
science
doesn't matter. He didn't say that. Look at what Einstein said about
I am
it.
sure I have read about it.
So what I'd like to say, I mean, Matt is saying he didn't say that, but what I would like to make a point is this: it's not what scientists say. You can have scientists.
My brother Matthew.
That's not my point. My point is, it is irrelevant what scientists say. What's interesting and relevant is what science has to say. And science is always learning. Science is always developing. So science can never be an arbitrary on this issue about what was the nature of the early Muslims, because we're learning every day. Yeah? And the Quran uses actually as an ayah in the Quran that I did not make them as a witness to the creation. They were not there to witness the creation when it happened. So we can speculate with our science and we learn like how our belief, scientific belief and dogmas have changed over the centuries. What we thought about the origin of our cosmos to today and it's continuously developing.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree that science exists 1,400 years ago under the form that we know now.
The Quran existed.
How do you define science?
Science is the inquiry of the reality in a systematic way.
Do you need empiricist there?
Science is a system of inquiry in a systematic way means it doesn't rest only on empirical evidence. You can have mathematical science, can you not?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It can be very systematic inquiry.
Yeah.
You can still call it science.
There's many sources of knowledge at the time that stem from philosophy and were purely thoughts experiment and things like that. I don't consider that science. So but my point is science is the way we understand science today is a very recent thing.
Very restricted way. Our knowledge of science, what it means, is very restricted. We are limited to a model of empiricism.
Can I just, maybe there's a better way for me to explain that. I think that science is about finding the nature of reality with a tool that is objective and it is outside of the subjectivity of our mind. And I think we've only been good at this recently, if you see my point. So it's not that science didn't exist, but we were very bad at it and it wasn't good science.
What are the tools of our science? What's the methodology of science?
There's many different ones. So there's empiricists, but there isn't just empiricists. There's always, it's all a matter of big numbers. For example, if I say all British people like ice cream is something that we can test statistically speaking. This is scientific. Because instead of just making an assumption, you actually look at a representative number of people and see. There's different tools, but to assess reality in an objective way. This is what science is. And I think we're getting. You okay?
You carry on talking.
I want to talk to you.
I will talk in a second when Colin affects the
and commands men and women everywhere to repent.
Yeah, so we talked about it. It's my understanding of it, but understanding that the earth was flat, so and that the sun and the moon were orbiting about
No, he didn't talk about first of all, he said he wraps the night over the day, and he wraps the day over the night. What does something do with wraps here?
So can you not wrap no, when you wrap them, when you operate, can you wrap them?
Not so.
If you operate equipment to someone, you wrap them up.
I don't understand the question. I'm asking you what do you think from this word, wrap here? What do you think from it? What does it mean? Because I'm telling you exactly what is in Arabic. In Arabic, the word is yukawwir. The verb quoted from the word kora. Kora in Arabic is a ball. So in Arabic grammar, when you quote a verb from something, that you make something like it. So yukawwir from kora, that means you make it like a ball. So here it says,
I can only go based on the English.
No.
I can't argue with
But
them.
you understand the Quran, you should know the native Arabic, not what's trying people to translate into English. You cannot translate everything literally into other languages. You understand? You cannot.
That's another thing I take issue with.
The verb yukawwiru is quoted from Korah. What is Korah in Arabic? It's a ball.
I have to take your word for it. I can't.
Would I lie about this word? Would I lie about
I
this
don't
word?
know. I'm not saying you would lie.
What?
You might be misinformed about it. I'm not saying you're lying.
Okay, it would be.
I think you seem like an honest guy, so I wouldn't say you're lying.
It would take long. It would take time. Anyway, Quran is not scientific. It's not science book. It's something that urges you to ponder, to think. Now, if you find anything which is undoubtedly true, if in Quran anything against it, then you've got a good proof against Quran. Now, tell me anything which doesn't make sense in Quran, that would be. But don't tell me, well, we found in the science or something else. Find me this in the Quran. The Quran is not science book. It's a challenge. You know, it shows you that it cannot be from human being. It would be maybe a long topic, but I think you finished with the grammar. No, no problem. No problem.
Things have come back to creativity. Let me tell you something beautiful. 700 years before Jesus Christ.
Actually, when you speak and then listen to
Who has believed what they have heard?
do you consider from your understanding of science
He grew up before
something can come out of absolute
like
nothing?
600 years before Christ came. Isaiah 55.
There has to be always something.
This is an interesting debate, and I think the only people who believe that something came out of nothing is religious people, because they believe the universe, God created the universe out of nothing. Right? You believe that? Did He create with words? Nothing. So it came from Himself. So it's a part of Himself.
He created with the word. The creative power of the word, the nature of it, I don't know. Right? It wasn't just ex nihilo as people understand.
But when there was, I mean, it's conceptually speaking, just when there was God, right? He was technically on His own.
He was always existing.
Yeah. But before creation, He was, so to speak, on His own. I know it doesn't necessarily make sense, but you see my point. There wasn't anything except God, right?
So when He created, of course, He created other than Himself.
Yeah.
So what He created, He brought into existence. But the way He brought into existence, we say He brought existence from His command, be, kun, and things appear.
To me, it seems like that means out of nothing. You
To me,
can
it
say,
doesn't seem like nothing. Because if that has happened out of nothing, actually, His word has been used to create, to manifest into reality.
did His word have any properties that weren't there before? Any materialistic property? I mean, you agree that it's a completely supernatural thing. You agree with that, right?
You say supernatural.
Well, it means it's something that appears out of something that is not, something material is appearing out of something that is not material. If it's His word, I don't know how God's word is.
You don't believe only materialism, do it. It's more than matter.
Yeah. Well, you see how the issue isn't as simple as you try to put it across, because your concept is very how can I say that? It's very hard to grasp as well once you look in depth into it, because the notion that God created the universe out of nothing that existed previous to him is mind-boggling.
Are you suggesting the alternative? Was that alternative? Something existing always, this something now, what's your alternative explanation?
So we don't know for sure, but there's certain theories about what existed before and how it happened, and some of them to me make more sense than the notion that an all-powerful, all-knowing being who was always there, just creating everything out of his world. That's all. To me, it's a better explanation than
How do you explain intelligence within this current something and explain that to the original, there's no such thing as original, the eternal something? The eternal something that always existed. That's God?
Oh, you're asking my eternal something that always existed?
Do you understand?
Well, I think that eternal...
Was it conscious and intelligent?
No, I think that eternal has certain connotation already because it's time-bound. And we don't know if what was before the universe, if time didn't exist, was time-bound. So eternal has...
existed, always. Has to exist.
Yeah, but you see when you say always, it's time-bound again.
No. The reality is, there was something always. Something. When we speak very loosely about time, in three aspects of time, past, present, and future, in whatever understanding, Buddhist understanding you have, there was always something.
Yes, but you see how this line of reasoning is limited. You see how it's
Are you suggesting there wasn't?
I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying this is why this is such a complicated issue. And coming up with simple answers such as God made it doesn't answer the problem.
Let's understand the issue. There has to be always something. This is a fact of reality. No dispute on that. If something exists always, it exists with inherent properties.
Can you
Or was properties borrowed from something that didn't exist?
just before we come to that, can we just agree how difficult it is to picture something that isn't bound by time? For people like us, who have always grew up in a world that is bound by time, right? So this is the first issue. When we talk about the beginning of the universe, we are very limited in our understanding of what happened. The smartest physicists on Earth are struggling to come up with an answer because precisely of that issue. If time started at the Big Bang, then it's very difficult to think what the properties of what was there before had. So you speak about always.
Speaking with rationality that we have, whatever existed always has inherent properties existed with it. Otherwise, you would say the properties or attributes of that something that exists always, was it given from an external source, which we said it wasn't, because that thing was always there. So if something is always there, it exists with inherent properties. Was intelligence, consciousness one of them?
You carry on saying always. I've just said it's not an appropriate word. But let's actually
use another one.
We can. This is the true problem with what precedes the universe, if there is anything that precedes the universe. Recently, people are going toward the fact there was a big crunch and then there was the Big Bang. So there's the notion that there wasn't actually a beginning of the universe.
If you have a series of expansion and contraction, Big Bang, Big Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch, right? You can have this for a long time in the past or in the future, but it doesn't get away with the problem that something always existed and always will. Whether this something is making the contraction or expansion is always happening, but always existed. This notion of always, in any understanding of science and time, has to be a given thing. It has to, because what are the other alternatives? There was a moment, crudely speaking, nothing existed. That's another alternative. It was total nothingness. And we are saying that's impossible. Because from that nothingness will result. The fact that there is something means there was something always.
I understand your point, and we can go down this road, and I don't mind going down this road. Just before we do, I'd like to point out that this conversation will be pointless, because the problem with this conversation is that people don't understand how limited our minds are to understand certain concepts. So many people have talked to you about evolution, just reject it because they don't understand it. And at the time when people started coming up with the notion that the Earth was round, so many people ridiculed it because they couldn't understand how this is possible. How can people be standing upside down? It's an absurd notion. So we have to be very careful about using simple logic with extremely complex problems. When you say something had to be always there, we're already starting off the wrong premise. And
This is where I'm very strong in what I say. If you don't accept that, that means that the alternative is something wasn't always there.
I'm just
They're
saying,
mutually exclusive.
I'm just saying that whatever preceded the universe started, and we first have to establish that, because we're not sure that the universe started.
I'll simplify it.
Let me just finish. If anything preceded the universe, if the universe started, first thing that we need to establish, we haven't established that. And if there was something before the universe started, we know that it most likely wasn't bound by time. If it wasn't bound by time, saying that it was always there is oversimplifying.
Always they mean.
Well, it means that it was eternal, right? It means that within time it had no beginning and no end.
Isn't that the case? If something exists now, whether this universe had a beginning prior to having been something else, like you can believe in a multiverse theory, for example, how universes give rise to other universes, right? Cyclical universes. It doesn't get rid of the notion that I'm addressing where you'll have to have something always in existence. The word always means it wasn't preceded by absolute nothingness. Or it was always there.
That's fine.
If it was always there, whether time was present or not, it was present with its inherent characteristics. Because if you don't accept that, that means the properties or attributes came from somewhere else, which is not.
Okay. I'm just saying one of the characteristics specifically is that it wasn't always there, because always implies time, and it wasn't time bound. So, but it just, I know it makes the conversation difficult, and that's not what I want to do, but I'm just trying to demonstrate that the reason why we're having this conversation, and that it's not getting us anywhere, is that we're limited by our language and our understanding of how reality works. And I have faith in the fact, that people smarter than us working on this their entire life will come up with explanations that we will not understand if we spend our entire life on it. So I think that reducing the origin of the universe to such a simple logic as there had to be some unclosed codes, and this unclosed code had to be intelligent, necessarily sets you up for failure when you try to explain it.
Are you really suggesting, again, I mean, this is what I find difficult, are you really suggesting with our scientific developments, we would come to know in the future that there was a time when there was absolute nothingness?
I never said that.
So it's a fruitless counter-argument from my perspective. Whatever argument you bring for the unknowingness of science that you have, for the ignorance of our scientific reality, it does not negate the fact that something was always in existence. And I use the word always, whether it's time-bound or not. Why? Something has to be always, because something exists today. So my next point is, do you believe this something that eventually, in whatever way, shape or form, gave rise to this, didn't have the attributes of consciousness and intelligence, or it didn't? Because do you find more conceivable, more, as you described earlier, making more sense to you that a thing that existed always, with no beginning, didn't have consciousness, intelligence, but we do. And our consciousness and intelligence just came by itself. Is that what you propose?
I would say that makes more sense. And let's go to the root of the problem. Because let's leave aside the fact that we are completely unable to debate about the origin of the universe. We can make an attempt at it, but we'll both fail at it. But let's try to do it just for, for intellectual pleasure, I guess, for just the pleasure of this conversation. Let's do it anyway. Let's go to the root of the problem. So there's this notion that there had to be something before the universe. If the universe universe began to exist. Do you believe the universe began to exist? Yeah. So we're not sure about this. Many theories now are coming out saying that there was a big crunch.
No problem, we can have many models.
So okay, let's assume it did start to exist. Now, if we assume it starts to exist, which is to begin with a dodgy premise because we don't know that, let's see what the cause could have been, right?
It's not a dodgy premise. There are sufficient scientific understanding behind these models of the origin of our universe. Whether you like it or not, it's grounded in science. But you can have other models which says it was always in existence, this universe.
Yeah, what are the recent trends when it comes to the Big Bang?
Tell me, lots of models.
Yeah, there are lots of models, but one of the main ones that are starting to come up is starting to be published is precisely the fact that there wasn't nothing before the Big Bang, but that there was a form of crunch, and that the universe was in a completely different state, and then after the Big Bang it changed essentially.
So go back to this original form of the universe. Was it like this always, or was this a result of something?
But do we agree that we're not sure that it will always exist?
From our scientific understanding, there's one understanding that you get on reality. I am not bound by the limitation of science. I also believe in revelation from God. That God created us, this thing that we are now saying eternally existed, we say is the originator of everything. And the originator sends information, communicates with us, telling us about who he is, what he has done in terms of creating this universe. So I'm not limited to this reality of the limitation of scientific understanding of what the true reality is, because science is just a method of determining reality in one particular way, and it has its limitation. It cannot determine the reality of lots of other things. For example, we cannot say who's the most beautiful person on
because that's subjective. So it's not a scientific fact.
Exactly. The science cannot use its method to determine the reality of that.
What we could do is ask everybody and see who's most popular, and you could say that's the most beautiful person.
So we're saying you cannot have a scientific test to determine this.
I just gave you one.
I'm saying this will determine you on who these people think. You can have another person saying, I think. You can disagree.
You could
so,
say.
So you're going by what? You're going by what?
You would have to define what most beautiful means. If you agree that most beautiful is who is found as being the beautiful by the most people, you can test that.
So it's defined by the person who's asking the question. So you cannot address this.
So you can address it. Depends what your question is. You have to specify your question.
If the person asks, the person's eye is most beautiful, and everyone else disagrees because they don't see it that way, you can't test it that way. Because it's subjective, as you said from the very start.
There's subjective things.
So there are many things science is limited to. I just give you an example where it is not beyond, which is beyond the realms of science. It's this kind of altruism and issues like that. We believe in revelation, and revelation tells us about the reality. So when we say the origin of the reality,
moving away a little bit from the original topic.
we are saying about the origin of this cosmos.
Yeah.
Science is coming up with models. Scientists were not there present, how the universe happened. We are just projecting back by looking at the universe now.
And the evidence that the universe carries on.
Right. So from our understanding of how the universe is behaving now, we are projecting the different models, how the universe may have been in the past. And we are constantly learning and learning. Yeah? So what we are saying is, about what it was, we can only speculate through science. It will be speculation at best.
It depends what you mean by speculation.
To know for sure what happened while not being there is a speculation.
So you're saying that with revelation you can know for sure?
Revelation gives you, because God is the one who created it. It tells you this is how I did it.
Well, how do you...
So how do you do that? So you verify the revelation from it's revelation or not. So you have to assess the guidance or the message or the scripture that comes up and say, is this from God or not? Yeah? So your first question should be, does God exist?
Yeah, exactly. So let's come back to that. I think the notion of God existed is an interesting debate because there's a few arguments that you can put forward for God existed. The notion, to me at least, that one of the religions on earth is true isn't a good one. It isn't a good claim. So this is the main issue that I take with religion, is the fact that they claim to be from God. But let's start from the beginning and let's try to see how we can reason about the origin of the universe and if there was a God or not. And the root of the problem to me is that if you assume that the first uncaused cause is God, is that supernatural, super powerful, all-powerful, all-knowing, omniscient, intelligent human being, to me this is like sweeping dirt under the carpet. It's literally like sweeping dirt under the carpet. And the reason why that is that you're ignoring the problem. You're just pushing it to a different place. You're essentially saying, oh, I found out what X is. X is Y. And then everybody goes, okay. And we're just waiting for someone to come around and say, well, what is the value of Y in that equation? And the reason I'm saying that is that one of the atheistic argument is who created God. And what we mean by that is not that somebody had to create God, but if you postulate that everything that came into existence started with the highest form of complexity, then you're just creating a problem that is even more complex than the origin of the universe.
Lots of assumptions made in terms of what we believe is reality. So you seem to accept that there are causes and that eventually can go to a cause, either ad infinitum with the beginning of these causes, or there is a cause that is the first cause. So which one do you think is more sensible?
Sorry, that there's
when you're talking about causation, so whether it's a crunch or an expansion, this is an effect of a cause. So if you go backwards, so either the causes come to a point where this is the first cause, or it goes on and on and on, never ending cause for our universe, our current universe.
Both are mind-boggling.
Which one makes sense?
I don't think any of the two make more sense than the other. And I'm glad to go over both of them.
Let's explain and see which one makes more sense. If you have a never-ending cause, it doesn't address the question. Because you are saying, what caused the cause? What caused the cause? What caused the cause? What caused the cause? You haven't answered the question. You just simply not answered it.
It's possible that it was this way. It doesn't matter if it
when you say if that was the case, would the current moment ever be?
Yes. It's a common misunderstanding of how eternity works. I mean, there's many ways of describing it. For example, you could say a current moment happened because whatever caused this moment happened 2 minutes ago, and whatever caused that other moment happened 5 minutes ago, whatever caused that moment, and you go like this in eternity.
Let me give you another way to look at it. This is a book that needs to go from my hand to your hand.
Yes.
There are infinite number of people in front of you and me. It needs to pass infinite hands to reach you. Would that ever reach your hand?
No, but you're looking at the problem the wrong